Photographer of the Year. Let's hear it for Dan Shelley, Shellda Photos.
Courage in my veins, running uphill, a wildfire heart that never stays still. I was born with a spark my daddy couldn't kill.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Shellda podcast, where today I'm joined by multi-talented, multi-professional, and newest member of San Antonio XFactor, Tom Guest. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man, this is one I've had on my list for like a really long time because you've got some talents that I don't know a lot of people know about that I want to dive into, and we'll for sure get there. But one of the things I want to do right off the bat, and I've been doing this for a lot of guests recently, I do a lot of research before I bring folks on, so I want to make sure I'm asking a lot of like deep questions and telling your story. And one of the things I've been doing recently is I'll put into ChatGPT, I'm like, hey, tell me everything you know that you can find about this person, about the guest. And so I don't think a lot of this is true or accurate, but let me know which ones of these are.
Yeah, for sure.
So what it came back with is one of the most successful European paintball players in modern history, longtime face of UK paintball. And then the third one was known for a high IQ, low emotion, methodical style.
Okay, I'll take number 3. 1 and 2, I don't know. Maybe I have some fame over there that I'm not aware of, but
Yeah,
I played like 2 or 3 European events.
Apparently those events like maybe just took off and you've got like this low-key fan base you don't know about yet.
The last one was rough, but who knows? That's funny.
Yeah. So
Cool.
funny way to start it. But let's jump into it. So I think recently there's been just a massive change for you, right? Like the past few seasons have been with the Ironmen, and now you're jumping back to XFactor, to a team that's going through, it seems like, some change. So where I want to start is walk me through what went into that decision, leaving Ironmen and going to XFactor.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that'll be a long one. I might jump all over the place, but forgive me. I'll try and I don't know. I'll try and tell you that story to the best of my ability. So XFactor for me, that team and my good friend Dimitri, they brought me back into professional paintball, which I can touch on later. But I'd taken a break from the sport. I didn't think that, I thought I was done. This was maybe 2019, 2020. And I came back and I played 2 seasons with XFactor. When I departed, I went to Ironmen. I played 2 seasons there. It was a complete rebuild. Like every event, it seemed like we had some sort of change, whether it be in like pit staff or players. But I had 2 like really, really good years on that team. Like I had nothing bad to say about it. Like really good memories, definitely super memorable years. But there was just kind of like some things that didn't sit right with me near the end of the second season. Okay. And to expand on that, it's just with that team, like we're a very green team. A lot of people didn't have a ton of experience with playing Sundays, with playing pro as well. We had a lot of newer players. And kind of near the end of it, I feel like we lost focus in general. People were focusing on this person did that, this person did that. And there wasn't a lot of like individual accountability, a lot of conversations behind different players' backs. And it was just kind of getting a little bit messy. And for me, that made it really easy to step away from it. I was very much on the fence about leaving and returning to XFactor. I had a really good position and I had a lot of support on Ironmen. I played a lot. A lot of the people looked to me to make decisions, and I just kind of had a really big role on the Ironmen, and I did enjoy it. But based on all of those things, that kind of pushed me away. I was putting a lot of energy into things behind the scenes with it. And when that kind of all came about, it made it really easy for me to transition back to XFactor. They had actually reached out the year previously as well, Ryan. And I didn't feel like it was the right time to come back. He reached out a little bit after World Cup this year, kind of when some stuff was going down, and it was good timing. It was the right time to come back.
Yeah, it seems like that's I think a lot of these moves, right? Is it's the timing for everything. And it's usually a player has something going on in their life or something happened in the team. And so like you always hear it, strike while the iron's hot. Um,
Yeah.
it really sounds like what you went through, and this is no shade or no knock on the Ironmen at all, but it's like a lot of what divisional teams go through where they come off the field and it's a lot of finger pointing, a lot of you did this, and then that spins up all these like side chats where like people are almost making alliances or talking about each other, and that just creates so much drama
Mhm.
throughout the whole organization. And
Yeah, just left a bad taste in my mouth.
yeah,
And like where we were at with Iron Man, like when we'd make Sunday, I felt like that was an accomplishment for us. Um, and I just feel like the things that we're focusing on weren't the right things to be focusing on. It's like
yeah,
we're not dominantly winning games. Like at World Cup, I think our first match went to overtime, went to one-on-ones. We got blown out by X Factor. I think we had 6 on the box one point. The
yeah.
third match was Lucky's. We had like a 4 point lead, almost blew that. And then we played Aftermath after that and won an OT. So it's like we snuck in. But it's just like we just needed to be a lot better, and there was a lot we needed to work on. And I just felt like we didn't have the pieces or mentality at the time to win a tournament. And I know X Factor has that. I've been in that camp. I've seen what they do to prepare. I've seen what other teams are doing to prepare, and I wanted to be a part of that again.
Hey, super quick before we go any deeper in this podcast, I've got to give such a huge shout out to Pro DNA. My goodness, the line of clothing that they just put out in the past few weeks is stuff that I have never seen in paintball before. I think most of us understand that some of the paintball gear that we have, whether it's t-shirts, jerseys, pants, it's usually not of the highest quality stuff. I am telling you, what Pro DNA just put out is some of the best quality I have ever seen. I'm currently rocking the new crew neck sweater, and this is literally something that I feel like I would walk into a department store or like a Lululemon and I would see this exact quality there. This is something that I have been living in. It feels so good. It's got super minimal branding. It's got the nice Pro DNA skull here. And on the side of it, I even have like a zipper that I can zip up and down to make it a custom fit. If you want some of the highest top quality gear that I think paintball has ever seen, head over to prodna.com, use my code for 10% at checkout, Shellda photos, and then grab yourself some gear. And then secondly, BFPGear just made a huge announcement. They just re-signed a partnership with Dynasty going into the 2026 season. And man, on BFPGear's website, they've got a ton of awesome Dynasty gear, ranging from things all the way down from barrel condoms all the way up to microfibers. They even have one of my favorite paintballs of all time. They've got that Dynasty paintball that has the well-known banana scented fill inside of it. So when you shoot your opponent, they'll smell like a banana walking off the field. So head over to bfpgear.com, pick up some Dynasty paintballs, and go lace up your opponents and make them smell like bananas. All right, back to the episode. Do you feel like that your caliber of play starts to almost get rusty or like lower because of that? Because you're around so many, toxic isn't the right word, but like just you have a whole different vision of where you want to go and where you want your play to go, but you're surrounded by people who are going in a different direction. It's like, do you feel like you're suffering or you suffered that in your game?
No, not at all. Just to, I guess, like clear that up with the team. Like for the most part, like the dynamic of the team was not toxic. There was just some stuff going on at the very end that I wasn't happy with.
Gotcha.
Those dudes are awesome. Like I'm friends with all of them.
Yeah.
We still talk. We had a great time, but it's just like there needed to be a little bit more accountability on certain people's parts in order for us to be successful. And I just time and time again didn't see that happening. And maybe things will change, but you know, if it just keeps happening over and over again, similar issues, and they're not being fixed and they're being addressed at a certain point, you just got to be like, okay, like kind of good luck with it. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel on that team, it didn't make me rustier. Being able to play all the time and having the support that I did from Shane and Paxton and the guys, I think it made me better. A lot of times, like I would have the realization that like I've kind of got to get it done here. Like I'm the guy, which is interesting.
Yes, like that's a good point, right? Because like that's two different dynamics where you're going from one team as you were the guy, and now you're going into a team where there's a lot of guys that you're having to focus on now just your job and not carrying a lot of the team.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic. Whereas like on the Ironman, if I made a few mistakes, they're like, hey, whatever, man, like you're good. Get back out there. That's not necessarily the case on XFactor when everyone is at the same caliber, if not higher. Those guys have been playing for a really long time. Everyone on XFactor has a ton of experience, which is just huge in paintball and all aspects of life for sure. Whereas on Ironman, I don't know, it's all over the place. Some guys have played finals, some guys have never been there. Like it's just a whole different beast, which is, I think, will be challenging in a way for me. It's just something to kind of be mindful of where I'm at in that situation. Like, I think I just have to hold myself to a much higher standard. I think I always do, but especially this year, like I'm definitely cognizant of that.
Yeah, I think your role going into this year reminds me a lot of Joe Barrett when he left Infamous for Dynasty, where he was obviously incredible on Infamous with Harrison, but then he went into that role where now I'm just part of a bigger machine, right? I'm not the person or one of the people. And I saw him like struggle's not the right word, but maybe take a little bit of time to adapt to maybe I need to listen more and like step back more and pick my moments a little bit more precisely.
For sure. Yeah, I think like with this team with XFactor, there's a lot of guys that can play like the 3 role or like more of a support role, and where I think that I can help the team the most and play the best is when I can kind of actually get in the center and create a bit of chaos rather than trying to play it safe. You know, it's finding that fine balance where I'm not just like recklessly trying to do stuff and forcing things, but also using my height to my advantage, being in the center and trying to crack things open for our front guys.
Yeah, I mean that new star bunker is going to be interesting for tall guys.
Oh my gosh, yeah!
I can't wait to see you in that thing.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I've been doing yoga.
Exactly.
Starfish.
I want to expand a little bit on that first question. You know, I think a lot of times when people see the announcement on NXL or on the team page of a roster announcement, there's obviously excitement if you're a fan of that team, or sometimes there's the opposite, like how could that person leave? But I think people stop there at surface level, and where I really want to focus on when I have someone like you on is like, let's go deeper there, right? Because that's not just a decision that affects you, that affects your family, that affects you and your wife, because now you're having to fly from Toronto to San Antonio for these practices, and that's a pretty long flight. And it's almost like a whole entire life change. So can you talk to me about what went into that whole decision for you and your family?
Yeah, for sure. Right now it's just my wife and I, no kids, but she's always kind of played a big role in my decision making with paintball and with life decisions. I feel like, every time I come back from a practice or a tournament, there's always like little things, positives and negatives that I'm talking to her about, talking her through like how a tournament went, whatever it may be. And she definitely knew I was struggling with the decision to remain with Ironmen or go back to XFactor. Like she's familiar with all of it. So we had a lot of conversations about that. And sometimes it often comes down to a simple act. And she's done this before in the past with me, but she has a background in psychology and counseling. So she'll get me to write out pros and cons lists. I think for this, she actually wrote it out herself because I was just like, I don't know what I want to do. I like this. I like that. I don't like this. So she wrote out like a pros and cons list of like every player, like pit staff, coaching, and sponsors, and like, let's go through. She's like, who wins here? Like, which is better? How is this managed? And then I have it all on paper and I'm like, okay, all right, this is the right move. Because it's like one part of me, it's just like, I really want to win. I need that win for myself. Like I've been in the sport a really long time.
Yeah.
I've gotten third a few times, a lot of seconds, some that are more memorable than others. But I think just like on a personal level, for whatever reason, it's like I need that next milestone. I need the gold medal. I've got a lot of silvers, a lot of bronzes, and going to X Factor is the most likely place that will happen for me, and for us. So that was like the big part of it. And trying to keep that in mind when making that decision made it a little clearer, because like emotionally, I'm like, I don't want to leave these guys. I don't want to do this. But I think like in most areas of life, like Ironman was kind of like staying in a position of comfort for me. Where it's like, yeah, this will be fun. Like I kind of know what to expect. Like I'm the guy, I'm this, that. Where the decision to leave for X Factor is uncomfortable. I'm leaving this like safe place where they're like, go Tom, like you got this, to a completely new environment, where it's like nothing's guaranteed. And I don't really know what it's going to be like, but it's a challenge. And I think that's where growth comes from. Like a lot of times that I've made decisions like that, it usually plays out well in the long run. It might not be immediate, but
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I consume a lot of content, whether it's like self-help stuff or just motivational content. And that's like one of the themes you hear from most of it is people always say, put yourself in uncomfortable situations because that's where you're going to learn and grow the most. And there's always something to take away from it. You know, whether it works out in your favor or not, but you're always going to learn something from seeking discomfort in a way. For
sure. A lot of times it sucks. Like, yeah, just kind of thinking back on my life and my career when I was young, I had really bad social anxiety. Like I didn't even know I had it until I was probably like 27 years old. And I was kind of talking to my wife about these things I was experiencing. And she's like, those are panic attacks.
Wow.
Yeah. So throughout my whole life, I've kind of been in a lot of uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
But like, that's kind of gotten me to where I am now. Like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I'd be sweating. I'd be worried about being on here or whatever it may be. But through literally just exposure and trial and error, a lot of exposure therapy to uncomfortable situations, it's kind of made me who I am now. And I'm grateful for that now. But at the time, whew.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's so interesting going through something that you don't even know you're going through. Right? It just becomes part of your identity. And you end up thinking that's normal to be that scared or that anxious all the time.
Yeah. Dude, it was so bad. Like I remember in high school, just running into certain people, whatever it may be, I would get like full body redness. My back is itching. I'm sweating. And I would just like get out of whatever this situation was. And that kind of like carried through to like weird situations with like job interviews or whatever it may be. And I didn't realize what it was. But kind of once I like kind of acknowledged what was going on, that helped a lot. And I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but that kind of ties in a little bit to like Ryan's conversation, which we talked about a little bit earlier. When you chatted with Ryan, just him kind of talking about his experience with therapy and whatnot. Huge. Like big kudos to Ryan for kind of talking about that. Like not a lot of people do, but it's super common. And like I have been to therapy. I don't go anymore, probably should, but it was really big. And kind of understanding like kind of the mechanics that are going on behind the scenes for things like that, for anxiety. So if anyone's dealing with anything similar, just go talk. It's great. It seems scary at first, but it's awesome. Basically just in a room one-on-one with someone who isn't going to judge what you're saying at all. You can kind of just let it all out. It's sweet.
Yeah, that's, like such kudos to you for opening up and saying that you did go through that. And kudos to Ryan for opening up with his story. Like just hearing people like you, there's a lot of fans that listen to this that may never be on the pro field. And, a lot of you guys are untouchable to a lot of people. And so to hear the human side of you and Ryan and everyone else open up, that allows other people like, wow, like, holy shit, I'm going through that too. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, okay. Like if Tom's going through that. Yeah. For sure.
And I've talked to friends about like other issues and they're like, what? Really? No, you? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I will live and die by this. Like there's 10 of us that stand on the field, right? On the box. Every single person is going through something, whether it's, anxiety, panic attacks, maybe your credit card's maxed out. Maybe you just lost a loved one. Like you're all going through something. And a lot of times no one talks about it.
Yeah. I think we had a really good environment on Ironman with that. I can't say that. You know, everyone's going through their stuff, but I feel like we had a good support network that's kind of like lasted even after me leaving. Like we just talked about everything, and a lot of people kind of played that role for each other, which is great. It's cool.
It's so healthy to do. And, you know, and you touched on it a few times. It's so healthy to have a partner who is also, what I've noticed with my partner, she's sometimes 3 steps ahead of me. And so like, she'll kind of know something's coming and like boiling up. And it kind of seems like your partner or your wife she kind of felt that Ironman, like, hey, something's going to change here at some point the way you're going.
Yeah, no, she's great with it. She's not, she kind of stays impartial, you know, she's not trying to push me this way or that. We just talk it through and figure it out.
Yeah, that's so healthy to have. Going into this season, what are your expectations, right? Because you're going from the guy now to a part of a player role essentially. It's like, what are your personal expectations going into this?
For the team, I feel like we should be competing to win tournaments. Like we have all the pieces, we have everything we need from coaching, sponsors, and just like player abilities. So yeah, I expect us to be right there. I expect us to win. I feel like personal expectations. I feel like my role right now is to just build trust with the team through consistency and just doing what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, consistency, that's been like my classroom lately. Like I've heard that everywhere. You know, like I've recently got into running, and like everything I'm hearing is like, you've just got to show up consistently. Like, you don't have to be the best, but if you show up consistently, like consistency always wins over being the best.
For sure.
From what I hear. Talk to me about Archie, because this is one that like I obviously Archie is one of the greatest of all time. Like people put him on the Mount Rushmore of paintball, but going into this season, I think he said it on Play the Game, where he was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I may show up, I may not show up. I may be there for one event, may be there for all of them. And I think I was looking before, he's currently not on the Tampa roster. So what is it like for you stepping onto the team now where you may have this superstar show up and he may not be there? Like, what is that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, right now it is what it is. Like Archie's always been such a big part of XFactor for forever. I was looking at like PB leagues or whatever at some of the guys on our team, like how many tournaments they played with XFactor in, and it's insane. So I'm not sure what he's doing right now. As it stands, I don't think he's coming back. But like regardless of what happens, it doesn't change anything for me. Like it's an addition to our team, and I think like a younger me might kind of be like intimidated by it, or be like, oh no, like I want more playtime, whatever it may be, and that's just like a selfish way to look at it. Like
it's the ego.
Yeah, you got to keep it in check. It's just like, hey, if you're playing well, if you're doing what you should be doing, and if you're as good as you think you are, like you'll be playing regardless. Like you'll earn that spot. And that's kind of how I'm viewing it. I'm like, whatever happens, I plan on working hard and showing them that I deserve to be out there, every practice, all the time. And it's challenging. It's like, you need to be very, very present and just like aware of what's going on and self-accountable, which is taxing and it is hard, but
sure.
I think at the end of that is something good. So we'll see.
It's funny because like you said almost exactly what Ryan said in his show. He's like, you've got to be so present when you're there, because like if not, outside distractions just take away from you and take away from the team.
Yeah, and I think like the last time when I was on XFactor before, like I definitely didn't approach things the same way. I was just going through a lot with stuff outside of paintball, and I just wasn't as present and focused and as involved as I have been over past seasons. And I kind of want to bring that into, I don't know, this next go with the team.
Yeah, it's like a new chapter of a maturity, right? You've gone away, you've matured, and now you can kind of come back and show that you've blossomed and matured in a way.
Yeah.
Let's transition to some off the field questions. And like, this is the meat of the podcast where I think people are really going to understand you on a much deeper level. And I think a lot of people may not know a lot of this about you that we're going to go into.
Cool.
So I think you're living, if I had to think about it, you're living what I think some would consider like the dream. You left your, very safe pension job to work for yourself and to play pro paintball. So like you get to do essentially whatever you want every single day and play pro paintball. So like, let's start there. What was it like going to decide to leave that safe corporate, pension job that you had?
Yeah, no, it was scary. It was tough. I guess the background on that around, I want to say 2020, 2021, I left a job I was a special constable at a university. So it's kind of like midway between security and full out policing. We have them on university campuses here in Canada.
Yeah.
So I went to university for 4 years, did another 1-year certificate program with co-ops and whatnot to be qualified for this, sunk a lot of time and money into it. And then I spent around 5 or 6 years in that position.
Wow.
And it was kind of around COVID time where I just had so much time on my hands. Like we were still working. Basically we do like a rotation of shifts. So it would be 3 12-hour night shifts, 6 till 6, 3 days off, day shifts, 6 till 6. It was brutal, just kind of back and forth.
Oof.
So yeah, during that time, like I just had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do. And I was super bored. I'm sitting in the cruiser, like driving around. There's nothing to do. And it was already kind of a more quiet job in terms of policing. And I have like, recently I was diagnosed with ADHD. I've always known about it. Teachers have known about it.
Yeah.
I have, but I hyperfixate on things like crazy. And like paintball was one of those things for me. But during the COVID time, it was cameras and photography. So I had all this time and I started like deep diving into like everything about photography and video. And I'd kind of been involved in it a little bit before with like the YouTube channel and all that.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. This sucks. Like how can I make money? And we had recently gotten married. We paid for the photographer, the videographer. I'm like, they're charging how much for this? And that kind of got the gears rolling for that. So kind of at a certain point, I think I just went and started shooting some weddings for free and started booking stuff out for the next year. And then I think I kind of matched like 60, 70% of what I was currently making, what my yearly salary was. And it was like my first year, kind of relatively cheap prices. And I just started talking to my wife about it. I'm like, this sucks. Like, I don't like what I'm doing. I don't really like the path that I'm going down. I need to get out of it. And we did something similar with like the checklist. We kind of made like a values list. It's like, what do I actually value? And that was something that I hadn't even ever like really asked myself. I was kind of just going through life like, okay, high school's over. I'm going to go to university, I never had big dreams or aspirations for a career. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I found policing and kind of just clung to that and was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And after 5, 6 years, all the shift work, I'm missing things like just life stuff, not just paintball. I was missing paintball, but it's like, okay, you're working Christmas, you're doing this. And I started to think like 5, 10 years down the road, if I want to have kids, like this is going to be really difficult to kind of live the life that I want to live. So by doing that, being like, what do I value? It's like my wife, my family, my health, playing paintball. Money was on there, but for me, it was kind of like lower on the list, and job security. So like putting it on paper and being like, okay, like this career isn't in line with my values. Like it made it a lot easier for me to switch out of it.
Yeah. So
that's kind of a short answer for really complicated.
Yeah. But like that answer is so valuable because I think so many people, and I think paintball is known to be a very blue collar sport where a lot of people are working blue collar jobs or sometimes working multiple jobs just to, show up on Sundays and play.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people go through what you did where you kind of don't really have a path. Like you're just almost falling into whatever's next, right? It's high school, society tells me I have to go to university or college. And then society tells you you've got to get a job after that. And like, you're kind of just fumbling into whatever's next without really making your own path.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it took you a little bit to do that. And I think the important part is stepping back and actually writing it down and visualizing on paper, like, holy shit, yeah, I don't want any of this.
Yeah. It kind of got to the point where maybe like 2018, I was playing pro with Aftermath. We'd won the spot. I played that year, and I was missing practices. I was still going out and playing. And then my boss at the time, he was like, hey, like, do you want to do this like investigators course, which like the city police detectives would be sent on. So it was a cool thing to be a part of. And they were only sending one person. I was like, yeah, sweet. Yeah. Like, let me know. And then I looked at the calendar and like my World Cup vacation was canceled. I was like, what's going on with this? And this was a few weeks after. He's like, oh, it's for that course. Like I canceled it. So you could go on the course. And I'm like, all right. And I didn't want to burn the bridge with the local department. So I missed World Cup and I did that training. And I'm sitting there like, I think it was like a week in class, just like hating it. I'm trying to watch the webcast on my phone. Like it just wasn't in line with who I was. I felt very, very imposter syndrome doing that.
I mean, that's total makes sense, right? Like you're now doing something that is providing money that you absolutely hate, which the FOMO just kicks in knowing everyone in your team is playing. Like that is top of the FOMO list.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to think of where we left off with that, but yeah, making that transition was awesome. It's been another 5 or 6 years now being fully self-employed, and it's been great. Make my own hours. I can travel whenever. Sometimes it's a little boring, especially during the winter months when things are slower, but I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. And I want to dive into like what you do. But before I do that, I do have one other question. Because like I said, I think a lot of people are in that same spot that you were in, and where they feel stuck, right? Where they hate their job, they hate showing up, but they would also love to pursue their dream. They would love to pursue their passions, but they're just scared to. So like, what advice would you give to that person who's listening that is in that spot that you were in, 4 or 5 years ago?
I think my advice would be to make your exit plan. If you're like, this is not for me and you want to change, you might have that other avenue in mind, that dream, whatever it may be, but just put it on paper. Be like, okay, like if I were to do this, like what would it look like? What would I need to do? Like how many contracts, how many jobs, like what do I need to do to survive? Just like pen to paper, look at it, see if it's doable and try and figure it out. And then just use whatever free time you have. And I know like you have kids, you have other responsibilities. It's tough, but use a little bit of that downtime rather than watching Netflix, playing video games, whatever, to kind of build that plan, give you something to look forward to. And when you're young, like, I don't know, when I was a kid, I thought by the time I'd be 30, I'd be way out of paintball, settle down, house, 2 cars, a bunch of kids. I'm 32 now, and I feel great. I feel like I still have a lot more time. When I was young, I felt like I had less, which is really odd. But now I'm like, oh, okay. You keep your health and whatnot, you can keep going for a while.
It's great. Like I've seen that trend too. It's almost like the older that you get, some people will say that, hey, you're running out of time. But then also there's the other camp where some people like, actually, I have more time because time is more precious. And so I'm creating more time for myself.
Yeah.
And that's great advice that you gave. And I think to summarize that, it's if you want something, pen to paper, but then backwards plan, right? Like here's the goal, like here's where I want to be. How do I get there? How many contracts do I need? How many jobs do I have to fill
for sure
to make that happen? And
that's kind of applicable to anything.
Yeah.
Even with paintball, I get people messaging me all the time like, hey, like I see you play pro, like I'm from Canada, whatever. It's just like there is kind of a way to do it. Yeah. It's really tough. But if you're talking like the way that you're talking, it's like plan backwards. It's like, okay, how do I become a pro paintball player in Canada or wherever? It's like you need to win tournaments. You need to be recognized by these pro teams. You need to get to that level. It's like, how do you get there? It's like, okay, I need to win this. How do I win that? I need to practice. I need to have a team. Like you can make like a There's a way. There's a way to plan it out.
Yeah, it's
And
just
take steps towards it.
and that's where you really or where people really show how important something is if they're willing to put that time in to like
Mm,
map it all out and essentially make like a checklist or a goal list.
yeah.
That's what I've noticed about some people is like if they say they want something, but then they won't put in the time to actually sit down and figure out how to get there. It's like, well, then you really don't want it that much as what you say you do.
Yeah. It's like sometimes I think they're just looking for like a quick answer, and it's like, yeah, it's not. It's a long road. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of sacrifice. But if you really want to do it, yeah. And yeah, I never thought I would be where I am now when I was a kid playing paintball. Like I've been obsessed with paintball since 15, since the first time I played. And I didn't come from a lot of money. And especially being in Canada, you know, like the opportunities were very slim. So I remember being young and like there was other kids that I knew who would be going down to play PSP events, and I'd be talking to my mom like, I'll never be able to do it.
Especially in a different country too.
In another country, you know, it's so much money. It's a lot of time, but yeah, it took a lot more time than I thought it would. But yeah, we're here now.
But you put the effort in and it showed.
Yeah.
I want to jump back because I really want people to understand, you know, what you do now because like you left that safe job to go chase your dream. So what is your full-time profession now?
So my main source of income right now would come from wedding photography and videography. That was kind of what I used to just launch myself out of the safety net that was my other job.
Yeah.
And it kind of it varies. Some years I'll do 30, 20. This next year I think I'm doing 10. But then I also supplement that through doing content creation for social media. I've worked with a real estate company for the past 4 years, doing all of their websites, like bio videos, headshots, social media, and then one of video marketing projects for all sorts of different companies.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you said something there that I would really want to emphasize, and I think this is important for people that want to get into some type of content creation. The important thing you said there is my main source of income. Because I think being a content creator, in order to be successful in that role, you have to have multiple ways where you're creating passive income or just creating income in general, not just from weddings, right? Because there's seasons for that.
Yeah. And it's a lot of work. Weddings are a ton of work. Like you can definitely make a bag. You can make a bag from a wedding, but like some of the commercial clients that I've had have been way easier in all aspects and pay like 5x what a wedding does. Yeah. So that's kind of like the long-term goal for me. I'm not really sure how to get there. Maybe I'll put pen to paper and take my own advice and plan it out.
Full circle.
But yeah, I think that's what I'd like to be doing later on. Just more commercial projects, building out a team, doing stuff like that, because it's just more in line with what I like to film and photograph. And you remove the emotional aspect from the transaction, which is important for me. Yeah, big companies they're not worried about their budget for marketing, but a wedding day, there's a lot on the line there.
Yeah, we've got a local guy here who sometimes plays paintball on a small level, and then he sometimes shows up with his camera. And he's like, yeah, I got hired by whatever tech company downtown here in Austin to shoot something with hands. I think they had like a hand product. And so he had to show up, and he was like, it was the easiest thing I ever did. He's like, they paid me so much money, and I got to like position the hands the way I needed to. I was there for like 45 minutes, and I had no stress at all.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm struggling with now is like the balance of like kind of talking about work and paintball too is like weddings or weekend things.
Yeah.
And like kind of coming out of that job, I'd booked so much because I was nervous. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like I need to work, and it conflicted with practices. And like when I was on XFactor, like I wasn't making it easy for Ryan at times. I remember one time I was like, hey, Ryan, I can't be at the layout practice. Like I could come in like Sunday morning, but like, if not, like I'll just come to the tournament and help out. Like I don't need to suit up, you know? And I did end up flying out like Sunday morning, showed up at like 10.
Oh my gosh.
Just not ideal. So it's just a constant battle of trying to organize my life. It
Yeah,
sucks because people want to book weddings and things like a year or two out. And
sure.
now I'm just like, yeah, yeah, sorry. No.
Yeah, and it's hard. That makes you like, what's the priority then, right? Like, do you want to put more
I
time and
know.
energy into the pro career, or do you want to put more time and energy into the business?
Yeah.
That's a hard spot. I would not do you justice if I didn't allow you to talk about your company name because it is amazing.
Yeah. The wedding guest is my corny but catchy wedding name.
So good.
Yeah. That's fun.
I'm sure you get a lot of people that like when they book you, they probably make some type of comment about it.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. When we were talking before this started and leading up to the conversation, you had mentioned something about building your life around values. And we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I think so many people go through life just like almost a zombie, like where they have no values. And I've actually caught myself lately where I've just kind of been on autopilot and I haven't really prioritized my values a lot until I actually sat down and like what is important to me. So can you talk about that and like when did you discover values and how important they are and maybe what some of those values are?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you can kind of autopilot through life, the way that you're talking about, like not being aware of like your values or your goals or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And you can get pretty far doing that. And then you'll probably find yourself at a crossroads, whether it be with work or a hobby or a relationship where you're like, oh, my lack of consideration and just my lack of thoughtfulness towards whatever it may be is going to bite you. So sooner rather than later, especially when you're younger and you're trying to figure out, like career or what you want to do, whatever it may be, just sit down and think about like what is actually important to you and make your decisions based on that rather than the other way around. It's a lot easier to kind of start and be like, okay, this is like what's really important to me, whether it be money, whether it be leisure time, travel, health, like all of those things. And when you're thinking about your career, um, keep that in mind, or you can end up 5, 6 years into something where you're like, this is not what I want to do for the
Yeah.
rest of my life. And I've talked to a lot of friends about that. And you can kind of get stuck in it, and it sucks. But I mean, there's usually a path out. It's just not going to be as easy once you're deep in it.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of people that probably talk to you are like, "Man, you are living the dream," right? Like I said earlier, you're playing professional paintball, you're working for yourself. But I think now that you're on that side of it, I'm guessing there's probably times where you're putting in more time and effort than probably what you would have done at a full-time job.
Hmm.
So like how do you manage that, right? Where you're living the dream, but you're also working more.
It's tough. I've just had a lot of change over the past 5, 6 years. Like there's been periods where I've been super burnt out from work, playing paintball, weddings, that full-time position I had,
Yeah.
and then additional work on top of that. And then just life and relationships. Like I'm not even factoring that in, right? Like something's gonna give. Um, right now I'm at a point where I'm like looking for more, honestly. Like it's a downtime, it's winter, I don't have weddings. I struggle without a lot of structure. So right now my challenge for myself is like kind of like the what's next. I don't want to be booking up more weekends. I'm trying to figure out another avenue to make money to find fulfillment. Because something about this job is that it's honestly like super lonely. Like you do these one of piecework type things like weddings, engagement shoots, general photo shoots, video work, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you're just at home in front of the computer. And for the longest time, I was like, that's perfect for me. I don't like people. Like I've always kind of been a little bit of a loner. I don't mind my alone time. But like now as I've gotten older, I'm like, I actually really value relationships and like being around people.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to almost find a way back without fully committing to like 9 to 5. So yeah, it's a constant battle, man.
Yeah, trust me, I for sure relate with that because, I think when I started in the photography space a few years ago, I got a lot of flack because I think a lot of people in the media space are, media is supposed to kind of be in the background. Like you're not supposed to really be the forefront. Like you're supposed to use your lens to capture obviously everybody and make them the story. But for me, like I need to be around people, and that just didn't jive with me. And so I had to build some type of brand around it to where when I showed up to the field, I wasn't just another photographer. Like I had people that I could talk to and people that recognized me and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that just helped so much. And like we had the Austin Marathon here last weekend, and I saw so many photographers, and like people just have no idea who they are, and they're going to go home, they're going to be alone, upload thousands of pictures, and then it becomes transactional. It's like, thank you for my picture, on to the next.
Yeah.
And you're right. That could be super lonely. So have you thought about doing, like, I could see you doing very well with like a course, like creating some type of online course that can become passive income, teaching your craft.
I've thought about it. I have a whole list of things, but it's nothing's grabbed me yet. And I know like motivation can come from action. I'm aware, but I'm like, nothing right now is pulling me to act. So that's kind of what I'm struggling with right now. And that's usually a winter thing for me. It's cold. There's not a lot going on. It's pretty bummy. But yeah, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And so like, this is so cool because you and I are so similar, where I've got a laundry list of things that I could do to make, money, and I could do a course. I actually started a course, but I stopped it because I'm like, man, I just don't feel it. Like I don't have the passion behind it.
It's like the passion, but I also need like the crushing weight of like some sort of deadline. Where it's like, like if I really need money, I'll do it. But when I'm okay, I'm just like, we're fine.
Well, there's that, whatever that quote is, like comfort breeds laziness or something like that.
It really does. It really does.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Another tough part about this line of work too. It's like you can make great money and have all this free time, but then all of your friends are there. They're going to be stuck working normal jobs. You have one to hang out with. It's also a downside of self-employment when you work from home.
Yeah, it's almost like the opposite of retail, right? Where like a lot of people that work in retail are having to work nights and weekends when a lot of 9 to 5ers are off. And so you have the opposite effect of that, essentially.
It's odd.
Yeah, it is. When I look at the landscape of professional paintball, there's only, I could probably say 5 or less that are content creators that are doing it full time, right? Like I would put you and Jonah probably at the top of the list. I think Ronnie's right there with you guys. But when it does come time, down the road to hang up the cleats, do you ever see yourself transitioning and having paintball media being a part of your portfolio?
Do I ever see it as being part of my portfolio? Yeah, I'm not sure like in what capacity, but I would love to be able to do that. Like if I couldn't play paintball anymore, if I got hurt, or just down the road when I'm like, this isn't for me anymore. I'm past my prime. I would definitely love to be involved in it. I feel like paintball could benefit from more storytelling, just like this, but similar to like Kakuza's approach to the damage video he did. I think it's phenomenal, right?
So good.
It was because of the story, and he focused a lot on audio. And I think that the current like climate and landscape of content doesn't serve well to that. Like it's all vertical, it's all quick, it's all fast, and it's tough. It's tough to kind of portray emotion and story and all that through that. So I do understand, but more content similar to what he had filmed, I think is kind of like what I would like to do in the future. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's such a need for our sport, right? I'm sure you've heard it from everybody. Marcelo preaches it. We just need more stories out there. And this podcast obviously is a very small part of that, but we need more
for sure
of that. So I think you would do an incredible job with it. Having the YouTube background, which we'll get into here in a little bit. I think you would bring a really important part of that to that space.
Nice, man.
I've seen a lot of there's a paintball media Facebook group where a lot of the media are very interactive with asking questions and sharing tips back and forth. And over the years, I've seen a lot of questions in there where people struggle with this, and I would love to get your opinion because you're now a professional on the camera side. Um, People that are shooting weddings, corporate gigs, but then also are shooting paintball content, they're very apprehensive to put their paintball portfolio somewhere in their traditional portfolio, and like they almost want to keep it completely separate, like almost on a different website, to
Mhm.
not turn off potential clients. Have you experienced that all, or like what's your thought around that?
I feel like separating it is definitely the right approach. I haven't experienced, like my wedding clients aren't finding my paintball stuff,
Yeah,
like
sure.
rarely. I think it is important to separate it, especially depending on like what niche. Like I have um, probably 4 Instagrams or 3.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot. There's like a personal photography one, which is like street photography and random events because I felt like that didn't really vibe well with wedding specific stuff. Then I
Yeah,
have the wedding one, then I have the paintball one. And then for my website, it's wedding dominant with like a kind of a hidden page for commercial work that I can send that link out.
I
Um,
see.
it's clean. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think keep it separate. Like it's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it at the beginning. Just make those accounts, make it different. Um, yeah, I think on a website you can kind of set it up in a way where you don't need multiple domains. Keep a
Yeah.
generalized name, have it separate that way, so you're not running up a bunch of bills for that because it gets expensive.
It really does.
Yeah, man,
Uh,
tax
you know,
time right now.
if yeah, trust me, I know. But I think that's a good point. Yeah, that's been a discussion I think in the media space for the past few years is like, do I mix my paintball content with my other content? Do I create separate pages for those? And I think you bring
Separate.
up a good point where if somebody's looking to you for weddings, they're going to scroll through your timeline and run your website. And if they start to see random stuff in there, it's like, okay, maybe this guy's not as focused on weddings. Or
Mhm.
like
You don't want
maybe,
to put doubt in your client's mind that like this isn't the right person for you.
yeah, yes, that's a really good point.
It's like you're going to like a sushi restaurant, you're on their page and it's called sushi whatever, and like they have like pizza and wings and stuff on the
Yeah,
main page. You're like,
something's off
I don't
here.
know. I want to go there.
Yeah, that's a great correlation. Um, I wish I had Jonah on a few months ago, and I wish I asked him this question, and I didn't. So I want to get your thoughts on this. You obviously are a professional photographer and creator. When you're on the paintball field, at NXL events or whatnot, and you see all of us, media, we'll just call it media, video guys, photo guys, and gals, what are you seeing from your perspective that you're like, oh man, that person shouldn't be there, or that's a really interesting spot? Like, do you ever evaluate that at all?
I do a little bit, and I don't. I often don't see creators doing things that jump out as this sounds bad, but whatever. That don't like impress me. I
Yeah.
understand why they're standing in the places that they are, and I feel like there are restrictions about where you can and can't be. But I think that as a whole, and it could just be because it's working. You're shooting for this company or that company, and they like what you're delivering. But I don't see a lot of variety in the types of things that are being created. Um,
Yeah.
I think that certain people definitely stand out and have like their own little sub niches of content. Like Verbal does a great job with the tracking and it
Yeah.
does well and it's cool content. But like from the photography side of things, like yourself and Nigel, I feel like you guys make a conscious effort to kind of get a variation of like angles and different focal lengths and things like that. Whereas a lot of the images that are captured just tend to be kind of like close up action shots.
Yeah. Players full framed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to see I want to see like some more artsy stuff put in it. Like use
Yeah.
some fisheye lenses, get creative with drone photography, whatever it may be. Like more audio on players. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
a little bit more creative. I get it. When you're getting paid, you're like, I'm just going to get the shot and do this. But
Yeah, no, I feel you 100%. Yeah, I even catch myself once in a while. Like now that I work for the league, it's hard to like, man, I feel like I'm getting the same shots over and over again. Like you almost get in this rut where you've got to like snap out of it and shit. I've got to try to challenge myself to get something different for this
Yeah.
match or this angle.
It's like breakout photo, shot of a guy diving.
Yeah. And if you like, what I've noticed is if I get that on day one, you're going to do the same thing 27 more times the whole entire weekend. And like, I could be lazy and just keep getting the same stuff over and over again, but that becomes hard. And so you almost have to challenge, or if I know you're playing the back center the whole entire event, like there's only so many angles I can get of you doing that. But like, okay, how can I maybe position a bunker where I've got that in the foreground, but I could still see, so like, that's just where the art comes out of it. And it takes a lot of thought to get yourself out of that comfort zone, to like challenge yourself to stand somewhere that maybe no one else is standing to get that shot.
Yeah, no, I can definitely relate. And in the back of your head, you're like, I don't want to mess this up too. And in certain moments when you're trying something a little bit like outside of your comfort zone, but yeah.
Yeah. And especially if you've got like, maybe it's 1 point, maybe it's a point that goes 10 minutes, then now you're kind of screwed, because like you're trying something new and if you didn't get it.
In a spot that you can't leave.
Yeah.
I don't know how strict they are with that, with moving around.
On the sidelines, not too much, as long as you're not like, bird dogging, where I'm not like following you or like going really fast. If you're on the back line, you can't move. Like you literally have to stand in the same exact spot.
Stand there and take it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's the best angle though. I've always thought that the way things were handled, I want to say Atlantic City for ESPN.
Yeah.
That's what we need. There was 20 feet on the back line. Like let the video guys set up back there. Awesome. Those are like the best angles. We never get that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I saw Verbal posted something, I think last week, where he created like this PVC kind of netting, almost like fortress for himself back there at Paintball Fit, where like he stands behind this thing now and it's only really his camera that's exposed. And so he can stand directly in the lane and just take it all.
Have you seen James D, the Canadian guy?
Yeah. I think he's actually the person that started the ball tracking years ago, and Verbal kind of like took it up and made it bigger.
I don't know. Shout out to James if he did. But he'll just stand in the back line with like no shirt on at OPL events and just get torched.
No, not for me. I get my shot and I get out.
No way I'm doing that either.
Yeah. I've got a few more for you. I wouldn't do you justice if I didn't talk about your YouTube channel. I think for a while, like people just loved the content and the vlogs. So tell me about that. Is that something that's on your radar for this year, going back into XFactor?
It is and it isn't. It's a balance. I talk about being present and focused, and having a camera around at practice is not in line with that. So this past year I had hired Josiah from 5-Pack to film all of our matches, and that's kind of what I'm pulling from. So maybe I would consider hiring him again or somebody else to film matches, but the kind of vlogs that I was doing with like Aftermath years ago, I don't know that you'll see them. I do have like a little handy cam that I'm going to bring around
cool.
to kind of bring in, because it's just like way easier. You can kind of pick it up. Like it's not a distraction and throw it wherever. It's just like ease of use is super important. I'm not bringing like a really expensive camera just to kind of get stuff behind the scenes. I think that's easy, and it is kind of like a middle ground where I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to be out there filming points, doing things like that. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to win.
Yeah, that's I appreciate you saying that, because that's always been my curiosity. Like, I love the stuff that Mike Bianca does, like with his Z-Logs. But I know, coming from a little bit of a creator background, is if I'm doing something, I'm always thinking, oh, I can get the shot, or like this would be a good time to bring my camera out. And like it kind of takes you out of that moment.
For sure.
You're always thinking about the content that you need to get.
And I think honestly, like a lot of it for me, like I don't like being in front of the camera. I don't like holding the camera up to my face or talking.
So
like
weird.
I know people like that, but like it's uncomfortable. I don't enjoy doing it. So that's really why I've went away from it. And also like stepping away from my other job and working in photo video full time. The last thing I want to do is edit more stuff. It's like I have like 4,000 RAWs to go through. Like I've got to make a bunch of videos, and then I also have all this paintball footage. I'm like, oh man, like that's just more time sitting here on my butt.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like when I had Matt the Gym Rat on, he obviously does paintball content full time.
This format is great too.
Yeah, and like he does the great job with the storytelling and creating hooks and opening loops, so like you stay and watch. But he hires 40 Media
Yeah.
to get all his stuff. But then he also has his own cameras, and so he's having to, and I think he edits all of his own stuff.
Probably, but that's the way to do it. Like, if hire another video person to follow you around at tournaments, to just like pull the camera up on you and be like, "What's going on?" That's 100% the move.
Yeah,
I'd be open to hiring someone. I don't know who would want to do that or how to organize that, but if anyone's watching this and they're interested in helping with any YouTube content, hit me up.
I guarantee you, if someone doesn't reach out, if you throw it in that, and I'll send you that group after that media group.
Yeah,
you'll get bites instantly of people that would want to do it.
Cool.
Yeah. Man, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you being on and opening up about just how you've gone through ups and downs and how you're kind of living the dream of working for yourself and playing professionally. Because I think that's the goal that people strive to get to at some point, is whether it's paintball or not, but to not work for that mundane every corporate job, right?
Yep.
And so I hope somebody takes something away from this, because I think you've just given a lot of really helpful information on this.
I hope so. Thanks, man.
Yeah. So I've got a closing tradition on here that I do. It's a really cool way to like tie in every single guest, where I'll have the guest leave a question for next week, and they won't know who the guest is. And so sometimes like teammates will leave, questions for each other. Sometimes it's media guys leaving stuff for pros. Maybe it's complete enemies, maybe it's two different teams. But your question comes from, the goofiest guy in the league, from Nick Sloviak.
Oh, no.
And his is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
His question for you is it's a lot. So I'll repeat it if you need me to, but name the most 3 influential players in paintball and why. So that's the first one. How did they influence where you are today? So actually, we'll start there because there's more to that.
Okay, so this is like for me, the most 3 influential players for me.
Yes.
Oh,
this is the part of the show that everybody like scrambles and they get nervous.
Yeah, that's tough. 3 influential players for me. Okay, number 1 would be someone that like the Canadians will know who he is, but not a lot of the Americans. Is a good friend of mine, Jesse Benoit. He doesn't play anymore, but around, I was like 15, 16 at the time, and I was playing like MXL in Canada, which is like the kind of the semi-pro division, or maybe I was even playing CXBL. I'm not sure, but Jesse was on Toronto Rage, which at the time was like, it was like the team to be on in Canada. Like they were all young, super cool, like always kind of competing. Like they were cool. They're great. And one off season, like he just reached out to me and be like, we need to get you on the team. It was like very complimentary of like my play style. He's just like, come out to a practice, and kind of just like forced me on the team.
Oh, wow.
Like I think some guys were like, who is this kid? Like my old teammate, Drew Guppy, I played with him on Distortion forever. He was on that team. He was always giving me grief. But like Jesse really just kind of stuck his neck out for me and got me on that team. And that kind of built into just Distortion and like rhythm and all these opportunities. Yeah. And just experience. So I'm like super grateful. Definitely one of the most influential players. I think that was the question, right? Was it influential?
Yeah. So he said named 3 influential players.
Yeah, I need 2 more.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh, man. You're going to have to cut out all this dead space here. I'll be sitting here thinking for a couple minutes.
Yeah. I'll put on some like Jeopardy sounds while you're thinking in the background.
Yeah, honestly. I guess I'm going to cheat a little bit and not completely, I'm not going to answer it completely correct, but another person in paintball would just be would be Mike Hinman.
Oh yeah,
he gave me a chance to play for Aftermath back in like 2018 or 2019. A few of us went over and played for that camp, And I just learned a lot from him, just about leadership and how you can be a hard ass, you can be tough on people and still be friends. It was kind of like a type of coaching I hadn't experienced before. But just always preached accountability, you know, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like it's just excuses, you know, really harping on that and preaching accountability. That a lot of that has really stuck with me.
I would love to see Mike's like family tree of how many players he has impacted that has come through his camp and like have just gone to play for other pros somewhere. It would be nuts.
Yeah, he's quite the resume for that. The web that comes out of there.
Yeah.
Third, man, I don't know. Nick. I've never been like a big fan in paintball. So all these people are people who have like really directly impacted me in some way.
But this is really cool because I think a lot of people like would see this question and they would go right to like, you know, Oliver, Ryan, you know, like
no, because I love those dudes. I knew about them. I watched all the videos, but like I would have been doing everything regardless. You know, it wasn't really impacting my path or anything. I learned a lot and appreciated a lot, but in terms of like direct influence, that's a difficult challenge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kudos to you for like not just going at that surface level and like actually going deeper to think who actually influenced you in your career.
Yeah, I know it's tough. I don't know.
We can cut it at 2 if you want.
Yeah, we can cut it for 2 for now if I think you've won.
All right. He's got a few more questions for you. He says, and now you need to make a 5-man team from any current or past pros, and you'd have to pick what style of paintball they would play.
Like what position?
No, what style? So he said 5, but I think what he meant to say, like, would you play, you know, NXL today? Would you play like old school, you know, PSP NXL? Would you play just regular 5-man?
I'd make like the most ridiculous team. Like, do I have to play on this team? I'm just making a team.
He didn't say that, so I guess you don't have to play on it.
I'm making a 5-man roster for Pro NXL, and it's going to be made up predominantly of coaches. So it's going to be Hinman. We're going to put Pax and Shane on there. I'm going to put Ryan, and who else are we throwing in there? Need another coach. I'm throwing old Buddy Bauer from Rhythm. One of my old coaches. And they're going to run it.
That's a good one. I was thinking you were going to say SK because like Hinman, Paxton, Ryan, and SK, like just that combo.
I'm going by like some of my recent coaches.
Yeah, and I love that. That'd be such a good like power struggle to see who would step up there.
I think they'd actually do pretty well.
I think so too. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, hey,
is that it or save a part 3?
What's that?
He's done.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. He said, what style of paintball would you play? So, like, what format? I think of what he was saying.
Oh, yeah, they're playing Pro NXL.
Playing Pro NXL. And they'd probably do okay, but they would win a match or 2.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I hope.
All right, pressure's off. You get to leave a question for next week's guest without knowing who it is.
All right, would you rather?
Would you rather answer Nick's question or not?
Would you? I've got a few, but I won't leave those.
Yeah.
I'll keep it kind of simple, I guess.
Cool.
What's one thing that you've learned from paintball that's helped you in your day-to-day life? There you go.
Oh, wow. That's actually a really good question. I think about that a lot, actually. For me personally, like I translate a lot of what I learn from paintball for day to day. And then I also try to like vice versa that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that'll be cool to see what that person says.
Lots of life lessons.
Yeah. Well, sweet, man. This has been so good. And I think the timing of it is just perfect, you know, with you joining back to XFactor. You know, hopefully some of those guys will watch this, you know, during their flights and whatnot to get to learn more about you. And we'll see you here. What? I think we're 30 days away. I think we're inside the final countdown. We got to practice this weekend. We got Columbia next week. Then back to San Antonio. And then we're right in the tournament. So Holy smokes, man. You're going to be gone. You better start packing those bags now.
Yeah, I know. I fly out tomorrow. Haven't packed anything.
Hey, we wouldn't have it any other way.
Cool. Thank you,
Awesome.
man.
Yeah. Well, Tom, thank you so much for coming on. And to everyone else, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Shellda podcast. And we'll catch you next time. See you.